Part 28. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 275. Boom. 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 Terrifying vibrations continued to sound in this alien space. It makes people even wonder if this space is going to collapse. Could it be something caused by that guy Hyuga? The corners of Uchiha Madara's mouth twitched slightly. This movement is too scary, right? Boom, a huge earthquake in the entire alien space. After the unprecedented horrific turmoil, a huge gap was torn open in the sky. Immediately afterwards, two figures passed through that space one after another. Knew it? Uchiha Madara couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when he saw the figure who came in first. It seems that Hyuga was indeed affected by the flying thunder god signal he sent out. Although it is a bit embarrassing to be forced to ask for help, but the guy just now is indeed strong, powerful and strange. It seems like you have already fought once, right? How do you feel? Hyuga looked at the large number of giant black cubes and giant black rods on the ground. They were obviously left over after the war. Uchiha Madara's face was a little dark. That guy is very strong and has the power to penetrate the complete Susanoo with only Taijutsu. Uchiha Madara briefly told about the battle with Otsutsuki Ishiki. Finally, when it comes to Otsutsuki Ishiki, he escapes towards the depths of the alien space. She is. Uchiha Madara looked at Kaguya, who was following Hinata. Who is this? He looked cautious. Uchiha Madara felt that he couldn't see through this woman. The ancestor of Chakra, Kaguya, I released her from the seal of the moon. Hyuga said casually. Regardless of Uchiha Madara's shocked expression, the stance again began to scan this huge alien space. Did Otsutsuki Ishiki escape? What did he do? That is. Hinata expression changed slightly. A familiar chakra wave? 10 tails. There is a 10 tails in this different space. However, it felt far less powerful than the one he had devoured before. However, since it is the 10 tails after all, it is better to keep it in your own hands. Otsutsuki Ishiki escaped just now. He should be trying to control the power of the 10 tails. He wants to use the power of the 10 tails to continue fighting. Ah! Hinata chuckled, and the eye of the moon on his forehead suddenly opened, bursting with light. In front of me, a void like a patch of black pixels appeared. Yomi Hirazan. This is the time and space ninjutsu he awakened after being promoted to blood successor snare. Without hesitation, Hyuga directly crossed the Hirazaka. The next moment, he appeared in front of Otsutsuki Ishiki. Ahead. A tall altar. It's a small 10 tails. Is this your 10 tails? Well, it's a little small, but not bad, and now it's mine. Hinata said with a chuckle. Otsutsuki Ishiki's expression changed drastically. This guy who suddenly appeared here, must be the person who tried to forcefully tear apart the space before, and the person who awakened the eye of the moon before. The other party has already found him. Without a word of nonsense, Otsutsuki rushed towards the 10 tails in one move. He must use the chakra of the 10 tails to fight the opponent. Buzz. The radiance of the eye of the moon fills the alien space. On the altar in front, after being summoned by the eye of the moon, the huge body of the sleeping 10 tails moved and seemed to start to wake up. At the same time, Hyuga suddenly rushed towards Otsutsuki Ishiki. Kill this guy first, and then the 10 tails will be completely in your hands. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 276. Golden Will Reincarnation Explodes. Hyuga quickly condensed 11 Tao-seeking jade, a golden longsword appeared in his hand, and then swept away directly at Otsutsuki. Otsutsuki Ishiki's heart is ringing with alarm bells. What kind of ninjutsu is this? He could feel that this strange golden sword could easily tear his body apart. Seeing the golden sword approaching, Otsutsuki had no time to dodge the move and directly activated the pupil technique on his right eye. Disappeared. The golden sword in Hinata Nariku's hand was swept away. Time and space ninjutsu? No, that's not right. Soon, Hyuga Nariku recaptured the existence of Otsutsuki Ishiki. Shrunk. This guy shrunk his body just when he was about to be swept by the golden sword, so 590 escaped. Now, the shrunken Otsutsuki in one move, he continued to rush towards the ten tails. I see, is this your pupil technique? Hyuga Nariku once again aimed at the presence of Otsutsuki's Ishiki, extended the golden sword in his hand, and suddenly slashed down at Otsutsuki's Ishiki. Damn it! Otsutsuki Ishiki yelled angrily. His pupil technique was discovered so quickly. There are two pupil techniques on the golden rice character in his right eye. One of them has the effect of shrinking himself and all other inanimate objects. As for the other one, Otsutsuki Ishiki's right eye flashed slightly, and several huge black cubes appeared out of thin air. Tisk. The black cubes of terrifying mass were easily cut open by the golden sword. Otsutsuki was secretly shocked when he saw this. Really? That strange golden sword is extremely sharp and cannot be resisted. Another strange pupil technique, I seem to feel the fluctuations of the time and space ninjutsu, it should be coming from somewhere else. While Hinata Nariku was guessing, a large number of giant black rods appeared out of thin air from under him. This space almost became a forest of intertwined black rods. Ha, I probably guessed it. Hinata Nariku chuckled. These giant black sticks below did not come out from Otsutsuki Ishiki, so they should have been arranged here long ago. The reason why they were not discovered by me before is because these giant black rods have also been shrunk. Just now, in order to stop him, Otsutsuki Ishiki activated his pupil technique and restored the reduced version of the black rod that was originally placed here. Ahead. Otsutsuki Ishiki has arrived in front of the ten tails. If you control the ten tails, everything will be easy. Otsutsuki looked fierce. He is still using Ji-Hsien's body, and the amount of chakra is simply not enough. This is completely unable to support his high-intensity battle. Bang! Hinata Nariku he clasped his hands fiercely. Immortal magic inorganic boundary wall. An invisible transparent barrier appeared around the ten tails. Because of the existence of this barrier, Otsutsuki's hand that reached towards the ten tails was blocked. Hateful! Otsutsuki gritted his teeth in one move, only a moment left. This barrier can't stop him for long, he only needs a little more time to control the ten tails. But that's too late. Hinata Nariku's cold voice came from behind. The terrifying golden longsword sliced open Otsutsuki Ishiki's waist. Otsutsuki Ishiki's strong body was easily torn apart. No. We can't continue the stalemate with him, we must leave immediately. Otsutsuki Ishiki dragged the injured body, activated the time and space pupil technique, and opened the door to space. Escape from here first. Outside. Uchiha Madara and Otsutsuki Kagaya also came here. It's so fast. Uchiha Madara's face didn't look good. He couldn't do anything about Otsutsuki's style before. However, Hyuga Nariku severely injured the opponent in a short period of time, and even allowed the opponent to run away in embarrassment. Yishi, it's been a long time since we last saw each other. Kagaya looked at Otsutsuki Ishiki who crossed into the space passage and said with emotion. Last time, in order to protect herself, she made a sneak attack on Otsutsuki, causing half of the opponent's body to be swallowed by the ten tails. That should be the most embarrassing time in Otsutsuki Ishiki's life, he could only escape with half of his body. But this time, we meet again after 1,000 years, Otsutsuki Ishiki is still so embarrassed. Kagaya looked at Hinata Nariku, I was secretly glad in my heart. Fortunately, she chose to be honest and submissive, otherwise, Atsutsuki Ishiki's current appearance would be her possible outcome. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 277. Kaguya. Atsutsuki Ishiki heard Kaguya's voice. After entering the time and space channel, come back and take a look. I saw the person I hated the most. Kaguya. Damn this. If it hadn't been for Kaguya, he wouldn't have had half of his body devoured by the Ten Tails. Even the natural energy of this ninja world is so rich. The fruit of the sacred tree contains a huge amount of chakra. And this was supposed to be something he enjoyed. However, because Kaguya attacked him secretly, his body was devoured by the Ten Tails, and he had to run away in embarrassment, inhabiting the body of Cicien, a passing monk. Later. A whole 1,000 years. Atsutsuki Ishiki is looking for a suitable reincarnation body. All this was caused by that guy Kaguya. If Kaguya had honestly been a sacrifice to the Ten Tails, there wouldn't have been so many things. Now, 1,000 years have passed. He was forced into such a mess by another person, but Kaguya appeared at this time. Is this woman Kaguya born to be at odds with him? Just wait for me. Atsutsuki said in a cold voice, and then his body sank into the space-time gate. 367 He has memorized the coordinates of this planet. Wait until you go back and start over again, destroying everything here. Time and space ninjutsu. He actually escaped. Do you want to chase him? Uchiha Madara said excitedly. Such a huge threat to the ninja world, it is better to catch up and eradicate it. Moreover, the fight he just fought was not good at all. He didn't even have time to analyze the opponent's eye skills. If Hashirama was there, if it can help him resist Atsutsuki's attack, he will be able to spend time analyzing the opponent's eye skills. If he knows the opponent's eye skills information, he will not be able to defeat him so badly. But now, that Atsutsuki's one-style state looks very miserable. If he goes to fight now, he can beat him even if he doesn't need information. Don't underestimate Ichiki. He should have carved a wedge into the body of a mortal in the ninja world before, so he is not strong enough. If he wants, he can forcefully reincarnate in that body, and then his strength will be greatly improved. Kaguya Atsutsuki reminded her. She also preferred Hinatan Nariku to catch up and kill Atsutsuki Ishiki. If she let Atsutsuki Ishiki escape, then correct herself and come back, she would be in trouble. What Atsutsuki Ishiki hates the most? It should be her. I want to catch up, but I need to deal with this Ten Tails first. Hyuga Nariku looked at the Ten Tails on the side. Although it is not as good as Kaguya's one, it is still a Ten Tails after all. It cannot be wasted. Buzz. The blood-colored eye of the moon, the brilliance shot towards the pocket version of the Ten Tails. Under this terrifying pressure, the Ten Tails was trembling. There is no way to resist at all. He didn't even dare to howl. Rise. Hyuga Nariku stretched out his palm and shouted at the Ten Tails. Boom. The Ten Tails soared into the air. In the air, bound by an invisible force, the shape began to change and gradually shrink. Finally, it turned into a cane. Appearance. The saplings of the Ten Tails are ready. The next step is to find someone to water the Ten Tails. Hyuga Nariku held the brown staff Ten Tails. Atsutsuki one style. This guy can be used as a sacrifice. Buzz. Moonlight brilliance photographic void. Black the pixel plate appeared out of thin air. Hirizaka. Just as Hinatan Nariku was about to pass through, he suddenly turned around and said to Uchiha Madara. Don't go there next. The next battle is in space. Your life level is not enough to fight in space. As for Kaguya, if you want, you can follow her. Beefed. Uchiha Madara's face froze. Damn it. Isn't he even qualified to follow? It's too bullying. In space. Etsutsuki Momoshiki and Etsutsuki Kaneshi have just got here. It seems to be a planet with rich natural energy. Tisk, that Yishi guy has found a good place. Etsutsuki Momoshiki said with some envy. It seems that the previous movement should be caused by the improvement of Master Yishi's life level. Etsutsuki Kim said in a low voice. Etsutsuki Mamashi nodded, he felt the same way. There has been no news for such a long time, ha. This guy, Yishi, looks like he wants to eat alone. Moreover, this planet has not been sucked dry for such a long time. It seems that the natural energy here was even more terrifying before. Just thinking about it makes people drool. Even now, the planet in front of them is enough to make people greedy. You can imagine how surprised Ishiki and Kaguya were when they first arrived here thousands of years ago. Let's go and see Yi. He can't take advantage of such a huge benefit by himself. With that said, Etsutsuki Momoshiki planned to land on this planet. In front of him, a black space passage appeared. The embarrassed Etsutsuki Ishiki stepped out of it. Momoshiki. Etsutsuki Ishiki was surprised at first when he saw the people in the starry sky, and then he was happy. Here comes the support. Just in time, he was worried that he wouldn't be able to escape alone. Now that Momoshiki is here too, that's no problem. A formula. Etsutsuki Momoshiki is completely surprised. He originally thought that Etsutsuki Ishiki, who should be very nourished here, looks so embarrassed. What happened? Who can make Ishiki become like this? Suddenly, black pixel patches appeared in the void. Huanquan Hirazaka. Etsutsuki Momošiki's face changed drastically. Who could have this level of space ability? Ahead, Hinatan Nariku's figure came across the boundless space. Behind, Kaguya's spiritual figure also followed him across Hirazaka. Is there anyone else? 3 in total, not bad. Hyuga Nariku glanced at it, and then began to gather the Tao-seeking jade. Densely black jade-seeking jade spread all over the starry sky. Golden wheel reincarnation explodes. The dazzling golden sword swept across Etsutsuki Momoshi in an instant. Momoshiki Etsutsuki is about to curse. What happened? He just came here, okay. He hasn't figured out the situation yet. Why would someone attack him when he comes up? Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 278. What kind of random person dares to attack me? Etsutsuki Momoshiki snorted coldly, stretched out his hand, and the red samsara eye in the palm of his hand met the golden sword. Dao Huangsan Spirit Master. This is the pupil technique of his samsara eye, which can absorb the ninjutsu from the attack. Drop it and give it back twice as much. I don't know who the guy who attacked me is, he must be a powerful native on this planet. How can such a strong natural energy give birth to such a strong native? Also, normal. But aboriginals are still aboriginals after all. Momoshiki, get out of the way. Etsutsuki Ishiki yelled angrily. This idiot. Didn't you see how embarrassed he was? He actually dared to underestimate his opponent. Tisk. The golden longsword, with its indestructible maintenance, easily cut off Etsutsuki Momoshiki's arm. Blood is flying in the starry sky. An arm with the eye of reincarnation flies out. Momoshiki-sama. Etsutsuki Kim took action immediately to bring back the flying arm. Go away. Hyuga Nariku raised his hand, and the repulsive force knocked the sturdy Etsutsuki away. He stretched out his hand and raised the scepter transformed from the 10 tails, facing the severed arm. The head of the scepter suddenly extended and opened. The bloody mouth swallowed up the severed arm. Then, digest and absorb. This arm, along with the red samsara eye on it, were refined together. Well, chakra is pretty good. Hyaga Naruko nodded with satisfaction. Asshole! Who are you? Etsutsuki Momoshiki was so angry that he yelled. What the hell? He suffered such a big loss as soon as he came up. He lost an arm and the reincarnation eye on it. He has never encountered such a situation since he was born until now. What a frustrating thing. Can you use your brain? I'm being chased and running away. The opponents are not like the ordinary natives we encountered before. Etsutsuki flew to Momoshiki's side. At this moment, he has forcibly reincarnated in Cien's body. He has raised his state to the peak. It can be seen that Hinatan Naruko does not intend to let him escape. Today, it is either success or death. Either he is killed, or he kills Hinatan Naruko, then seizes the other person's body and completes the reincarnation. Otherwise, he will be reincarnated by force. Now he won't live long either. Who is this guy? Yishi, what's wrong with you? Why is Kaguya still alive? Shouldn't she be a sacrifice to the Ten Tails? Why are you following that person again? Etsutsuki Momoshiki asked again and again with anger. I don't have time to explain so much now. Once I kill this guy, I want his body and this planet to be given to you. Etsutsuki Ishiki said without hesitation. The most important thing for him now is to find a suitable body and complete the true reincarnation. As for continuing to plant sacred trees on this planet, this can be put aside later. First, use Peach Shiki will help him get rid of Hyaga Naruko. Moreover, Etsutsuki Ishiki can feel that if he gets Hinatan Naruko's body, his strength will probably surpass his previous peak. Cut. Etsutsuki Momoshiki curled his lips. To deal with the native, you actually need me to join forces. Forget it, we agreed, this planet will be mine from now on. The discussion is over. Etsutsuki Ishiki, Etsutsuki Momoshiki, and Etsutsuki Kaneshi. The three Etsutsuki faced Hyaga Naruko together. Just two more came, which was good. I originally thought that this Ten Tails was a bit small. If I devour all of you, it should make this Ten Tails grow bigger. Hyaga Naruko said with a chuckle. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 279. Arrogant. Etsutsuki Momoshiki shouted angrily, and a long red chakra stick in his hand quickly condensed into a red chakra hammer. Similarly, Etsutsuki Jinchi condensed into a red chakra hammer in his hand. And Etsutsuki Ishiki's weapon, it was a stick like yin-yang escape black stick. Three Etsutsuki attacked Hinatan Naruko together. Receive. Hyaga Naruko shouted softly. The golden sword in his hand, which was originally dozens of meters long, began to shrink and became the size of an ordinary sword. However, the amount of chakra contained in it did not decrease at all. Zero Senkai, be careful, that golden sword of his has become even more dangerous. Etsutsuki reminded in one voice. Tisk. The golden sword swept across. The black stick, chakra long stick and red hammer resisted together, but they were no match at all. In front of the shrunken golden sword, their weapons easily cut off. Impossible. Etsutsuki Momoshiki's face changed drastically. Where did this guy come from? How could a native of a planet be so strong? Crash. A large number of red chakra weapons flew out from his hands and attacked Hinata Naruko. Jinlun reincarnation explosion. Hyaga Naruko shouted softly, and the terrifying repulsion blocked these menacing weapons. Then, he raised the ten-tailed scepter in his hand, opened the bloody mouth of his head, and suddenly swallowed up this large amount of chakra weapons. Again. It's a big burst of chakra. Damn it. Etsutsuki Momoshiki's face was extremely ugly. His moves were actually used by the other party as a way to supplement chakra. In the past, this was his way of dealing with the natives on other planets. Now it was actually used on himself. Don't use those fancy tricks. Etsutsuki Ishiki said in a deep voice. Not only is it useless, but it will also replenish the opponent's chakra. He will lose a lot of money every time he comes and goes. Hateful. Why is this happening? His eyes, are they white eyes? No, it seems stronger than Byakugan. Only then did Etsutsuki Momoshi become serious. He began to look at this opponent carefully. Although he was reluctant to admit it, this native was the strongest among the natives he had encountered. Maybe even stronger than him. Just now, he thought it was a bit embarrassing to join forces with Yi Shi, but now it seems that they still have to join forces. It should be the eyes after the Byakugan evolved. This planet is really a bit weird. Etsutsuki Ishiki said a little tiredly. It's really troublesome. After Kaguya ate the fruit of the sacred tree, his strength directly surpassed his peak, which caused him to she can only avoid it. However, even Kaguya like this was eventually sealed by the two children she created. It's so evil. Later, in every generation, there will basically be some super powerful people on this planet. A strong person. Even he has to pay attention to it. Therefore, in the past 1,000 years, he has been hiding in secret. Let's go together and fight with physical skills. Etsutsuki Momoshi said with an aggrieved face. He was forced to do this. It has always been that others can only use physical skills to fight against him. Today it was the other way around. Immediately, the three Etsutsuki gave up their chakra weapons, began to fight with Hinatan Nariku with fists and kicks. However, they fought extremely hard. They fought with bare hands, but Hinatan Nariku waved the golden sword casually, which could hurt them from time to time. Tisk. Otakumujin's body was penetrated by the golden sword. Momoshiki-sama, I. Etsutsuki Kim's aura began to become weak. I know, damn, I was forced to this extent. Etsutsuki Momoshiki's face was extremely ugly. In the current situation, he could only absorb the Jin clan to gain more strength. However, Hinatan Nariku had no intention of giving him this opportunity. He raised his palm and aimed at Etsutsuki. Mujinshi. 6 paths of earth exploding stars. Rumble. In the starry sky, a large number of meteorites gathered towards the Etsutsuki Kane clan. Roar. Hinatan Nariku threw the scepter in his hand, and the scepter turned into 10 tails and rushed towards the Etsutsuki Kin clan. Soon, the Etsutsuki Kinshi and the 10 tails were buried together by a large number of meteorites. Inside the huge stone ball, vibrations were heard from time to time. Obviously, this was because the 10 tails inside was devouring the Etsutsuki Kinshi. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 280. Asshole. Etsutsuki Momoshiki was about to explode with anger. Originally, it was humiliating enough for him to need a sacrifice from the Etsutsuki Jin clan to help him improve his strength. Unexpectedly, he was actually cut off. The Jin clan he fell prey to that damn native. Momoshiki, I learned a secret method on this planet, but it will take some time. Please help me stop him for a while. Etsutsuki Ishiki thought for a moment and then said. I will stop him alone. Etsutsuki Momoshiki's mouth twitched. Just now, the three of them were pressed down and beaten by that damn native. Now Kim is gone. He actually had to prepare for Yi Shi and let himself be stopped by himself. Wouldn't this cost him his life? If you move faster, I may not be able to delay you too long. Etsutsuki Momoshiki said with a dark face. Now we can only count on the secret method of Ishiki to deal with this native. Tisk. It's really embarrassing to say. It actually needs the secret method learned from this planet to deal with the natives here. Immediately, Etsutsuki Ishiki gathered his thoughts and rushed towards Hinata Nariku. However, rear. Etsutsuki Ichiki, who originally agreed to prepare a secret technique, turned around and ran away. He doesn't know any secrets. It's just that 14 said it to deceive Mamashi and let Mamashi buy him time to escape. Unexpectedly, this guy Momoshiki is still so naive that he would be fooled right now. A formula. Etsutsuki Momoshiki was stunned. This guy actually escaped. Ha, it seems that he is Etsutsuki who has lived in the ninja world for thousands of years after all. Things like shame can be thrown away at will in the face of life and death. Hinata Nariku said with a chuckle. But this is useless. The divine golden will is reincarnated and explodes. Hyuga Nariku shouted, all the chakra was mobilized, and the natural energy on the ninja planet was mobilized after he stood up. At this moment, Hyuga Nariku's momentum surged to the highest peak in history. Buzz. The golden sword in his hand began to go crazy. It extended, spread into the endless starry sky, and then began to sweep across. No. Etsutsuki Ishiki is almost in despair. Damn it! Why is he so strong? He is just a native of a planet. The extremely sharp golden sword easily cut through Etsutsuki Ishiki's body. Damn it! Before Etsutsuki Momoshiki could finish a sentence, his body was cut off by the golden sword. Boom! Aside. The huge stone ball exploded, and the Ten-Tails figure appeared again. At this moment, the Ten-Tails had already swallowed up the Etsutsuki Kaneshi, and his figure had grown dramatically. Fortunately, there are two more prey now. The eye of the moon on Hinata Nariku's forehead bloomed, and he easily controlled the Ten-Tails to devour Etsutsuki's Ishiki and Etsutsuki's Momoshiki at the same time. No, no. You cannot do that. I join forces with you, I can be your subordinate. We are not the only ones in the Etsutsuki clan. You can't do this. Etsutsuki Ishiki began to beg for mercy. Thousands of years of hiding in the ninja world have made him lose a lot of the arrogance of the Etsutsuki clan. The most important thing now is to survive. However, Hyuga Nariku did not stop at all. On the other side, Etsutsuki but Momoshiki just cursed. However, this could not change their outcome. The Ten-Tails opened its big mouth and swallowed the two broken bodies together. Boom! 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 Explosions continued to come from the Ten-Tails' body. Obviously these two people are struggling desperately. Accept your fate, just as you have destroyed so many planets without a care in the world, accept your own destruction. Hyuga Nariku poured chakra into the Ten-Tails' body, suppressing the rampage of the two people. Gradually, the riot in the Ten-Tails' body subsided. Etsutsuki Momoshiki and both Etsutsuki Ishiki and the others were devoured. The Ten-Tails also began to undergo huge changes. From the original appearance of a brown monster, it began to transform into a real sacred tree sapling. Receive. When the transformation of the Ten-Tails was over, Hyuga Nariku's moon eye bloomed on his forehead, and he easily recovered the new sacred tree seedling. If this sacred tree seedling is planted, it will continue to absorb natural energy and produce chakra fruits. This is the end. Kaguya in the back felt a sense of sadness. The people of the Etsutsuki clan she had been worried about for so long were actually dealt with so easily. No, this is just the beginning. Hyuga Nariku said with a chuckle. More Etsutsuki clan may appear in the future. The road to improve strength and life level must continue. However, there will be a new era after that, and we can no longer be limited to this small ninja world. It takes such a small amount of natural energy thousands of years to produce a chakra fruit, which is too slow. Hyuga Nariku turned around and looked at the ninja world and said, I am willing to follow in your footsteps. Kaguya Itsutsuki said sincerely. Originally she was just subdued. Now, she really obeyed from the bottom of her heart. It may not be difficult to follow this man and ignore Itsutsuki's threats. She can follow and see more. A broad future. Helisaka opened. Hyuga Nariku and Kaguya once again returned to the alien space of Itsutsuki Ishiki. During the previous period, Uchiha Madara seemed to be bored and began to toss Obito. Although Obito had Uchiha Madara, who has dual divine power and a body of filthy earth, but cannot do anything about the reincarnation eye. In addition, his attempt to take revenge with the help of the Itsutsuki One style failed, and Uchiha Obito is now in a state of incompetent rage. Didn't catch up? Or is it over? Uchiha Madara looked at Hinata Nariku who was leaving and returning, and asked aloud. It was solved, and two more happened to come, and they collected 850 together. Hyuga Nariku raised the scepter in his hand. This is the scepter transformed from the sapling of the sacred tree. Uchiha Madara was silent. How long has it been since? Moreover, look at the scepter filled with chakra. This guy Hinata Nariku must have become stronger again, right? It's time to get out of here. A new era is coming. Your strength and talent are good, and you have the value to continue to exist. Hyuga Nariku said. The ninja world will next enter the era of starry sky exploration. However, there are only a few people with excellent blood talents who can truly go to the starry sky alone. New era. Uchiha Madara nodded slowly. Although the dream of infinite Tsukuyomi was shattered. However, he is interested in being a witness to the new era started by Hyuga Nariku. The battle with Itsutsuki ended like this. In fact, no one in the ninja world even noticed that this battle existed. The pace of unification of the ninja world is advancing rapidly. Originally, Kumogakure, Kirigakure and Tsunagakure had all been beaten by Hyuga Nariku. In Iwagakure village, Onoki completely lost the idea of resisting after seeing Hyuga Nariku's miraculous power. It's exactly what you say. The unification of the ninja world has arrived. Under the leadership of Hyuga Nariku, the ninja world began to embark on the starry sky era of external exploration.